to me, which is said, well, I don't eat red meat and I don't eat seafood because I'm Muslim, you know, in my science class. You would talk to them, you see that they would say, okay, well, some percentage for Muslim, like 5%, 10%. At least that's subhanAllah, that's blessing. You know, it's our duty to tell what we know, because in our deen, ilm is fard al-ain, means it's a must. In order for your iman to increase, you have to increase your knowledge. Therefore, and your time, your knowledge is a responsibility, and Allah will ask you at the end of the day. You will be accountable for your knowledge. Did you convey the message? So it's our responsibility to shine rather than being reactive, to be productive. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Inshallah, we'll take a few more comments and then maybe we'll break into a discussion group. So let's focus it again on some of the topic of extremism and so
on. Okay, so I think that the reason the true Islam is a well-kept secret in this country is because our PR machine is relatively weak or non-existent. And the reason for that is, we don't have that kind of budget that we can employ 10 people with a degree in public relations to really guide us. And so I think it boils down to not having the very strong budget. And the reason for that is that most of us, if you go to any church or any synagogue, and people say that, we contribute 5% of our income or 8% of our income. And I think most of us are probably not doing that. And I think if we start that, and if we have a very strong financial ground, that could be one solution. That's just a thought.
All right, so let's come back, inshallah, to the topic of some of the things regarding extremism and so on.
Assalamu alaikum. If I could go back to the point about white America, I think there's a little bit of clarification necessary, and I don't think that it's simply just white America that's afraid of Islam. I think Indian America, Black America, Jewish America, Chinese America, whatever you want to call it, is developing a larger and larger sentiment that is afraid of Islam. I'm a working professional, and I work with well-educated, highly educated professionals, and these are people who are open to listening and learning about things, and even in a place working with doctors, nurses, well-educated people, you can find this growing sentiment regardless of what background people are from. And I think part of this stems from what American culture is all about. And Hussam mentioned Islam and Muslims kind of getting a seat at the table in terms of the American political arena and everything like that. I think America is all about what have you done for me lately? And what has Islam done for America lately? Not much, in my opinion. If you look at the Jewish community, the Black community, multiple communities that are successful in America today, they've suffered and they've strived and they've done, years and generations worth of, involving themselves in the society and demonstrating that they're willing to be a part of it through a lot of work. And I think that's one shortcoming so far in the Muslim community in terms of not being recognized as equals or still being seen as such a minority to be fearful of, is that we haven't demonstrated that we love America as much as the next guy, as much as Joe Blow next door. And I just think that's my 2 cents. That's about it.
And before we go to the next comment, just wanted to mention something about that, because that is a good assessment. But just so that we can also recognize why this is the case. We are very recent to America. The Jewish community, when they started coming to America and establishing themselves in America, they weren't as integrated as they are today. They have a long history, decades, more than a century and maybe 2. So they have a very long history here, and so that's why now they are dealing with very different challenges. That integration that we sometimes I think there is a lot to learn from how communities like the Jewish community was able to establish itself in America, but at the same time we have to realize that we're still very new at this. But at the same time we have a lot of pressure on us that was not existing on anybody else, because there is a lot of highlighting on Islam and Muslims because of the wars in the Muslim world that are happening right now, and because of the issue of extremism and terrorism. So the question to you is, what should we do? What should we do now? Let's take a few more comments, then we'll divide in groups, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Karim. Regarding extremism, in my view, I think the Muslim in general, Muslims around the world, in a way, we kind of hypocritical to ourselves, because if you look at even on Christmas Day when it happened, we actually did not come out and defend what we truly know what the truth is. And I think personally,
Why? Why didn't we do that?
I think it's more fair. Is the amount of people that are really doing this havoc? It's just a minority of them. But the Muslims themselves that understands that Islam is against it, I don't think from the Muslim world, the Western world, all the educators, all the scholars are not coming out and giving out the information. Everyone is just backing down for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I think it's time for the scholars in the Arab countries or Muslim countries, in the Western countries, to come out. And not only that, and speak about it and make people understand. And for the brother over there, or brothers all over America, I mean, where I work as a professional in a nuclear plant. And you can probably count how many, I don't want to put the word black, but color people that are there. I think it's up to you, your character. What you present is what you're going to get. And if you're ready to engage in a really, the way Prophet Muhammad ﷺ have always engaged. And I think we have to get that amount of education, of understanding Islam, not just reading the Quran, which alhamdulillah is good, but understanding the fundamentals of what our religion is. And I think by doing that and speaking to people, don't worry about what people have to say. If you understand, you know what you have is good, it don't matter what someone else have to say.
Thank you. And this is, by the way, one of the dilemmas that Muslim organizations in America and probably even overseas face, which is, everybody came out against all the major attacks that happened individually, and then about the attack, and then theologically about how Islam condemns that. For example, 9/11. Everybody Muslim and American Muslim and overseas Muslim, but then the problem is every day there is a bombing over where. Do you, for example, expect Muslim American Society Boston chapter? Every day there is an attack somewhere in America or around the world for us to issue a statement that we are against the attack. I mean, everybody now issued the statement. This is wrong. This is not Islamic. Sometimes we do it one by one, but let's say that Christmas thing that happened. Would you like us, for example, as an organization here to issue a statement about that and to say we condemn it? I mean, it's a given we condemn it. It should be a given. And sometimes you feel, well, why are people still not getting the point that we're against it? We are against it. So it's a touchy subject that I want to... All right, so I want to give a few chances to extremism. Do we have that problem? That's my question now, because before we fall in groups. Is there a problem? How do we solve it?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I think the terrorism problem that exists